Have you ever faced a moment where the path ahead was completely uncertain? Where loss, fear, and despair were the only things you could feel? Could you stay when everything and everyone was pushing you away? Would you risk it all on the strength of your love, your loyalty, and your faith? This is the story of Ruth, a story of an impossible choice, where loyalty collides with fate and love conquers the deepest of divides. But what if, in choosing her own path, she wasn't just changing her own destiny, but the destiny of an entire nation? Once upon a time, there was a famine in the land of Israel. The people were starving, fields were barren, families were falling apart, and if anyone wanted to survive, they'd have to leave their homes and search for food elsewhere. At that time, a man named Elimelech lived in a town called Bethlehem, which literally means house of bread. But right now, there was no bread in the house of bread. So Elimelech decided to take his wife Naomi and their two sons, Mahlon and Chilion, and go to a neighboring country called Moab, where they heard there was food. But Moab wasn't exactly friendly to Israelis. It was a land full of idolatry and sin. It was actually cursed by God, but desperate times call for desperate measures, so they headed east. Now, the journey was long and hard, but finally they made it to Moab, where Elimelech and his sons were able to find work. And it seemed like things were gonna be okay. I mean, they had each other, they had jobs, and at least they weren't starving anymore. But then something terrible happened. Elimelech died, leaving Naomi a widow. And then not long after that, her two sons also died, leaving her with no children and no future. She was bitter, hurt, and completely alone. She was surrounded by strangers in a foreign land. But then Naomi decided to return to her home in Bethlehem. On the way, she met two women. They were her daughters-in-law, Orpah and Ruth. Now, Naomi knew that these women could find other husbands in Moab, but she didn't want that for them. She wanted them to go back to their people. So she told them, "Go back to your people and your gods. Return to your mother's house. I am too broken for you. I have no hope for you. You will find a better future for yourselves." So Orpah bowed down and went back to her people, but Ruth refused to do that. You see, Ruth loved Naomi more than anything else in the world. And besides, she knew that wherever Naomi went, she could go too. But still, Naomi begged her, "Don't go with me. There's nothing left for you in Bethlehem. You'll never be happy there." But Ruth replied, "Don't ask me to leave you or to turn away from you. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me." Wow, that's a bold statement. Ruth was basically saying, "I believe in your God. I want to follow him. And nothing, absolutely nothing, will break our bond. I promise." And when Naomi heard those words, she knew that she had gained a daughter through choice, not by blood. So they continued on to Bethlehem. What would it take for someone to leave everything behind? Her family, her home, her people, all to follow another into the unknown, where the promise of new beginnings and the pain of old wounds would collide. Naomi's return was met with whispers and stares from the townspeople who remembered her from better times. But Ruth, with nothing but her faith and her loyalty to Naomi, stepped into the unknown. To survive, Ruth began gleaning in the fields, a practice that allowed the poor and widowed to gather leftover crops after the harvest. It was there, under the hot sun, that a wealthy landowner named Boaz first saw her. His eyes lingered on her, intrigued. "Who is that woman?" he asked his workers. "And why does she seem so different from the others?" Later, Boaz approached her. "Don't go to anyone else's field," he said kindly. "Stay here. I've told my workers to leave you be. You're under my protection." Ruth, surprised by his generosity, bowed low. "Why have I found such favor in your eyes?" she asked. "I am just a foreigner, an outsider." Boaz smiled. "I've heard of your loyalty, Ruth. your loyalty to Naomi and to her God. May the Lord bless you for your kindness." In that moment, something shifted. An undeniable connection sparked between them, and Boaz looked at Ruth with newfound admiration. That evening, Naomi, sensing an opportunity, gave Ruth a daring instruction. "Go to him tonight," she said, "when he's asleep at the threshing floor. Uncover his feet and lie down. He will tell you what to do." Ruth hesitated, the weight of the moment pressing down on her. But trusting Naomi, she went. In the middle of the night, Boaz woke up, startled. "Who are you?" he asked into the darkness. "I am Ruth, your servant," she replied, her voice a firm whisper. "Spread the corner of your garment over me, for you are my kinsman redeemer." In that culture, this was a powerful and symbolic request for protection and marriage. Boaz looked at her, his eyes filled with respect and admiration. "I will do everything you ask," he promised. "You have shown even more kindness now than before." "Don't worry, Ruth, I will redeem you." According to Jewish law, when a close relative was required to redeem his family's land, he could not do that without first marrying the widow. And if he agreed to do that, she would become his wife. To his word, Boaz took the necessary steps, and soon, the town celebrated their wedding. Naomi, who once felt her life was bitter and empty, now beamed with joy as she held her newborn grandson in her arms. What began as a story of loss, exile, and tragedy had transformed into a story of incredible hope. Ruth's devotion didn't just change her own future, it changed the future of a nation. This story is one of redemption not just for a woman who lost everything, but for all of us who choose to follow love, faith, and loyalty, even when the odds are stacked against us. In the end, Ruth found not only what she had lost, but so much more. Thank you so much for watching. If this story moved you, please give this video a like and subscribe for more stories of incredible faith and courage. We'll see you next time.